Getting a unit in a social housing complex in Taipei can be tough, and even for those who get in, money is often tight. The residents of one such housing complex have found a solution: growing produce in their outdoor common area and selling the food they make with it. By farming and making dumplings together, the residents develop a bond and give back to the community. Unfortunately, a regulation that limits lease terms for social housing residents means they have to part ways after 6 years. Despite the impending separation, their bonds and experiences will stay with them for the rest of their lives.
Pulling a wheeled crate with gardening tools, she periodically looks back at the young girl keeping step with her. This is Huang Lan-ying, a resident of a Taipei social housing unit. Follow her to the building's rooftop to find a thriving garden where residents grow all manner of things. Other residents are already there, smiling and conversing as they share the garden, each tending to their own plants. The residents here wake up early to come up to the roof. It's not just to chat to the neighbors, but also to farm together at this hidden away urban garden.
我们一大早一起来就想到说我们的
We get up really early and come here to check on our vegetables and our fruit to see how they're growing. The first thing we think about each day is coming here to look. Our roof level, which is the 15th floor, and also the common area on the 5th floor, those are shared spaces. Anybody can go there and grow things.
这是我这次第13颗的苦瓜。
This space where children too can put their hands in the soil and experience the joys of farming in the midst of the bustling city is a slice of green where you would least expect it.
我们社区的邻居，大家能够享受更好的一个田野的这个景色。
Here, the residents can experience a rural escape. At night when they come up here, they can take in the view of Taipei 101 and the cityscape, and at the same time see this patch of flowers and greenery. In that space of time, the uninitiated like me can slowly learn how to grow plants, fruit, and vegetables.
This much produce is more than a single household can consume, so residents were faced with the question of how to put it to better use to make their endeavor more meaningful. After years of thinking about the issue, these urban farmers came up with a solution. Shiso leaves grown at the urban garden are perfect for use in tea, and their unique fragrance makes them suitable for other uses as well. The younger farmers devised a particularly innovative use, combining them with other crops from the garden to make dumplings.
我们就把这个收成包到饺子里面去。
We harvest these crops and make dumplings with them. The dumplings that are most popular right now include the ones we make with shisho and those with loofah. We also make dumplings with bitter melon, which are actually quite good.
At their monthly gathering where they make dumplings together, the residents form an even stronger rapport.
饺子剧我觉得非常的让我很兴奋。
These gatherings to make dumplings are very exciting. The first bitter melon I've ever tasted that was sweet was grown by Mrs. Huang. Along with Caillou's hot sauce and my fruit vinegar, the three were perfectly matched. We thought about it and decided, hey, we can make something out of this.
Making dumplings is relatively easy to do, but by putting their own spin, these public housing residents created their own unique brand.
那后来我们就慢慢的去发现说，社会住宅里面的这个著名的 整体的结构。
Later, we came to understand the makeup of the public housing community. We realized that having our own brand could benefit those people in need of work. For example, we have housewives, older adults, retirees, and people who are low or middle income. Through cooperative projects like small-scale food processing or other homemade items, they can earn a bit of money to subsidize their income.
For example, this Chinese mahogany plant grown by 80-year-old Mr. Yo can be used to make a sauce that pairs well with dumplings. However, if the residents are to sell dumplings to the public, they must pay careful attention to food safety. Toward this end, Zhang Kai-yu holds a monthly food processing class with the residents.
在家里如果要做一个食农加工的这个程序的话，要把制作动线要规划好。食农加工课程内容我们总共分了7堂。
We've spread the content of the food processing class over 7 sessions. The course covers things such as what to look out for during the production process to ensure food safety. We look at the required steps in the production line. The whole process must abide by food safety standards.
These dumplings reflect the shared effort of the housing community, which is also a reflection of this housing community's past life.
The Jinkang Social Housing Building sits on the former site of a National Women's League housing complex. The construction style of the new building reflects the characteristics of that old housing complex. Some of our older residents who previously lived at that old complex also sometimes share advice and experience with the other residents.
Young residents who benefit from that advice also repay that debt of gratitude.
多余的水饺就包好以后，就每个月1次就送给。
Once a month, we take the leftover dumplings to Taipei Songshan Senior Service and Daycare Center. Some of the residents there have dementia or have poor mobility. Over time, this endeavor of ours has slowly become meaningful. So it's our plan that, over time, families can learn these things together and we can gradually build a caring community.
By sharing their dumplings with older residents, the work of these urban farmers grows more meaningful. However, building a caring community still has its challenges. Getting a spot in social housing relies on a lottery system, and the chances of selection are quite low. Taking Taipei as an example, the chances of selection are less than 10%. To tackle the problem, in 2017, the city initiated a program that encourages youth to give back to the community through entrepreneurship. Program participants can secure a spot in social housing without going through the lottery system.
Jinkang is the first social housing complex to participate in the program. It's done a great job of creating a community brand. Actually, all of the youths in the program have their own target markets or different groups of people they aim to help. They are all quite outstanding. It may be difficult for them because they are using their time outside of work, investing their already limited time to create all manner of possibilities.
Under the city's regulations, most households are only permitted to stay in social housing for a maximum of 6 years. Once their time is up, they must leave, but the urban garden stays behind.
I'm
worried about the fact that after we've been here for 6 years, we need to go and adapt to a new lifestyle.
Social housing residents Lin Shuxia and Huang Lan-ying are both retirees, and both have the same thing at the center of their lives: careful tending of the community garden. Facing the impending expiration of their lease terms, they feel helpless, but just maybe there is an option for them to keep their lifestyle.
There was a feasibility study at the city's Department of Urban Development which looked at the possibility of lease renewal. A proposal they originally made at the social housing complex has been successful, which will make it possible for residents to move on to another social housing complex when they leave here.
If we move to a new social housing complex, then we may need to start from scratch with a new team. What that means for us is a new 6-year period. Then, after we build up a new team over those 6 years, we have to leave and start all over again at a new place.
But one 6-year period after another of repeatedly moving could create an instability that could harm the kids and families. For these urban farmers in particular, the bonds they build over the shared farming experience can be hard to replace.
其实我们这一群人哈，就是从4年前开始。
Actually, over the course of the past 4 years, we have been very focused on this, and we have cultivated a shared sense of doing something revolutionary.
The people of the Jiankang social housing complex have developed a strong sense of community and shown a warmth toward each other that is increasingly rare in the modern city. In their urban garden, they've grown not just an abundance of fruit and vegetables, but lasting friendships that will never wilt.